if this is going to work. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so as usual, you guys are going to have to let me know in the chat if you can see me, can you hear me, and all of that good stuff. This is today's um, today's offering. Oh, let's do this. Okay. This one, this one, this one. Nope. Just this. Let's see if it's gonna work. Okay. Right. Mhm. Okay. So, for that was obviously a very long intro. Can you guys let me know if you can hear me and if you can see me? That would be very much appreciated. Trusty Brew here from the wonderful Heather Angel. Yes, yes. Okay, excellent. All right. So you'll have to excuse me. I apologize. I'm just getting to grips with certain parts of this technology. I've been using Zoom for years. I've been using YouTube for years, but they've changed everything. So it's it's all sort of coming in a little bit different and a little bit new. So basically, I'm just having to sort of learn on the job which parts are working really well, which parts are getting out. So thank you so much for your patience. As you can probably tell from the thumbnail and, of course, the title of the video, this is all about Mars moves actionable energies for the week ahead, right? So, what I'm going to be talking to you about today is all things Martian energy. Now, this is important for a few reasons. So, one thing, if you're watching this now, you can make a note of this if you're watching it after the fact. As of now, the new content is kicking in, right? So I said there would be new content. I said there would be different things. I said that we were doing things differently. You've got the memberships, and you guys will continue to get your weekly tarot and your weekly goodies. There will be other things that I bring just for members only. For the rest of my wonderful community, I will be going live Monday through Friday from 12-ish p.m. UK time. All right. We're going to be talking about different things. It's not going to be the same as the weeklies. So I do have to get this over to you. If you're expecting that kind of setup from these videos, I'm telling you here and now, it's not going to happen. You will, however, get other things that I think are just going to be that are going to be just as valuable and just as easy to digest and just as awesome for you guys to love and enjoy. All right, so with that said, if you are new to my channel, my name is Raphael. I am an intuitive consultant. My core four are astrology, tarot, numerology, and energy work. I use all four of these disciplines. Sometimes I even use muscle testing to come to my conclusions and my ideas. And all of this is under the banner of utilizing the spiritual sciences. So if you've been with me for long enough, you know Rafi loves you. If you are new to my channel, these are the disciplines that I use. And also, whenever I am talking about astrology, for the sake of simplicity and ease, I am using whole sign, tropical, Western astrology for those of you that would like to know, like how am I coming to certain conclusions and where the planets are and all of that good stuff. So I hope that answers any questions for my numerology. I tend to use standard numerology as well as Pythagorean techniques and also some ancient techniques as well. I do have a little bit of a thing for Chaldean numerology at the moment, but you know, it's kind of a mishmash or an amalgamation. And one thing that I can tell you about any intuitive consultant, whatever their media happens to be, whether it's astrology, tarot, numerology, the I Ching, etc., when you do this work long enough, you start to notice your own patterns, trends, and themes. And what that means is there'll be things that I can do that I can spot in a tarot reading or in astrology that maybe somebody else can't. And that's because the media talk to me in different ways. And when you've been doing it long enough, a lot of the stuff that comes to you won't be things that you can find in a book, right? So if you ever watch my videos and you think, oh, I wonder how he came to that conclusion from those cards or from this interpretation, I've been doing these things long enough that my intuition interacts well with them. All right. And I don't say that to be conceited. That's true for any intuitive consultant, anybody that works in any of these fields that really has done the work or done their homework, so to speak. Now, excuse me, I've come over all snotty all of a sudden. Pleasant. So, with that said, as I say, we are here to talk about Mars moves. So I'm going to get straight into it now. Mars moves, right? Thank you for joining me. Thank you for spending part of your Tuesday with me. What we're here to look at, really, to explore are actionable energies based on the transits of Mars over the course of the week, right? So, what do we really need to know? Now, I will say, remember that in these videos, you can expect to get a nice general overview. And then on top of that, I'm going to go into a little bit more depth in terms of the elemental associations. All right. So before I get into the rest of it, I will say, can I ask you to absolutely smash that like button, please, to share it to whoever. Please, as much engagement as possible because it really helps me, it really helps the channel, it really helps this stuff get out to other people. I love that you guys talk to each other in the chat. I love that you guys talk to me in the chat. Sometimes it's like a dialogue going on between all of us, and it's a really fun way to interact with you guys. So welcome to more of the new content. Now, as I was saying, we're going to start looking here. We're going to start, obviously, we're looking at Mars. Now, in terms of the Mars focus, Mars is currently in the sign of Cancer. Mars is currently in the cardinal water sign of Cancer. This is so, although Mars is, and we're going to talk about Mars's challenges in the sign of Cancer, one thing that we really do need to consider is a cardinal sign is a sign that is known to start or begin a season, right? So cardinal water is Cancer. And as you know, the 21st of June is when the sun moves into the sign of Cancer. Cancer is the kickoff point for summer energy. So when we're talking about a cardinal sign, this is an energy that drives things forward. There is no sideways. There is no this. There's no adaptation. It's full force, full forward. This is the way that we go, right? Now, this is Cancer. Cancer is a water sign. So what we're talking about here is the full force of a wave pushing and driving forward. Now, that is an energy that Mars can kind of relate to in the sense that Mars doesn't like to go backward. It's the, out of all of the planets, Mars is the one that least likes to go retrograde. Stay tuned this week. I'll be dropping some retrograde videos for you that I think you guys are going to love that will be important for 2025. Trust me for that. Now, because Mars also, so all of the planets, certainly in terms of the classical planets, the famous seven, right? They have an earthly and not an earthly. They have a masculine and a feminine guise. So Mars's masculine guise is obviously Aries, which is the cardinal fire sign, and Mars's feminine guise is the fixed water sign of Scorpio. Now, I will say to you, Mars being in the sign of Cancer, Mars is known to be in its fall. This means that Mars doesn't function well here, right? It's not able to bring forth its best energies. It's not really able to do what it wants to do, right? It's not able to, the only thing that they have in common is that cardinal energy that I talked about just a minute ago. So, Mars being in the sign of Cancer, we really better get used to it, right? Not just because we're going to have this energy right the way until November the 4th, because by the time we get to November 4th, Mars will then move into Leo, but it only gets to 6 degrees of Leo, and then it's going to hit its retrograde point, right? I'll be here to talk about that as we get into it further down the line. Now, on top of that, we're going to have this energy right through until basically May of 2025. All right. So currently, as I said, Mars is in Cancer. Mars in Cancer is a weepy, frustrated Mars. This is Mars in its fall, right? This is a sign that is entirely, in many ways, at odds with its own nature. This is a more defensive and a more protective Mars, right? But it's a Mars that is challenged nonetheless. Cancer is a very warm, home orientated, traditional, reflective, soft, feeling, sensual, kind of homely, come let me hug my head to your chest kind of energy. And Mars is hacking things to pieces, driving things forward and clearing out the space to get done, right? So they're very, very different energies. The energy focuses more like Cancer energy focuses more on home, family, hearth, maybe even mother, right? So things around mothers, things around women are probably going to start to get really a lot more heightened from here on in as Mars moves through this sign of women, because ultimately, remember, Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is the celestial goddess. She is the grand feminine principle in at least our known sort of, it's not really our universe, is it? Our solar system, let's say. So she's the great feminine principle, right? So Cancer is ruled by the moon. which is all about feelings and nurturing and nourishing and what we want to eat and what we need to feel safe and comfortable. And then you've got Mars, who doesn't do well with any of that stuff. Cancer is internal, it's intuitive and passive. And Mars doesn't really know what to do with that kind of energy, and especially not here. So stay tuned for that Mars retrograde special that I'll be putting up soon. There'll be lots of helpful information in there. Now, in terms of like significant aspects, this week Mars isn't really doing much, to be honest, right? It is, however, doing something which is quite interesting. Let me see if I can. This is one of the reasons I wanted to set this up through Zoom so that I could show you what's going on the chart. Fingers crossed. I'm going to share my screen and I want somebody to just type in the comments and say yes, that you can see the chart. All right. Or are you just looking at my anxiety-inducing desktop, as my friend calls it? With all of the open tabs of things that go on in my brain and things that are in my mind. Can you all see that? Can you see the chart? That's what I want you to look at. Hmm. Yes, you can see the chart. Excellent. Love it. This is exciting. See, I said I was going to bring you new stuff. I had so many people like, oh, I can't believe you're just setting up a membership, man. I'm not coming back to this channel anymore. Like, that's Mars in Cancer, right? Like having a little whinge and a whine about it. And here I am, delivering all kinds of other excellent stuff to you. All right, sorry, I'm going to shut up now. Okay, so in terms of the chart, as you can see, so Mars is here at 7 degrees of Cancer, right? And if you can see, the South Node is at 6 degrees of Libra, and the North Node is at 6 degrees of Aries, right? So what this is setting up is what we call a cardinal, right? Because Aries is a cardinal sign, Libra is a cardinal sign, Cancer is a cardinal sign. So this is what we call a cardinal T-square, right? And so what this means is it's setting up an energy of tension between the nodes, but this is also what's known as at the bendings of the nodes. And this is quite significant because what it means is when a planet is interacting with the nodes, it means that whatever's taking place at this moment in time, there is a fated kind of energy to it. So the stuff that's taking place now, that's playing out for all of us, particularly in that Cancer house, right? In that Cancer space in our chart. This is set for London. Please ignore the numbers on the inside circle unless you actually live in the UK. And even then, I'm not doing this for that. I just want you to consider what house, drop me a comment in the chat, what house does Cancer occupy for you in your personal birth chart? If you don't know, I will put a message in the comments later to send you to a website where you can get a free one. But for those of you that do know, let me know. Just waiting for some answers to come into the chat. House 3, house 8. Ooh, okay. House 8, there's a juicy one for you. House 11, eighth house, second house. All right, so whatever's happening for you in these particular areas of life. So I'm just going to give you really short, quick buzzwords, a fire quick round, just to give you an insight. Third house, interviews, job, local stuff that's happening in your local area. Eighth house, other people's money, personal fears, wounds, traumas, crises. Second house, your personal money, your finances, your savings. First house, you, your body, your outlook, your personality. Fifth house, pleasure, joy, romance, sexy time. All right. So wherever these areas of life are for you, what Mars is doing currently is quite significant because it's squaring the nodes, which means that whatever things are unfolding, certainly over the course of this week, because you've only got really another 2 degrees before it kind of gets out of orb, right? But whatever Mars is doing this week, there is an echo going on here. There's something that has a fated feel to it, right? So whatever's coming in with through the connection with the North Node, there'll be some tension with whatever's starting, with whatever's ramping up production in your life in the Cancer energy. And there'll also be something that's leaving your life because of the connection to the South Node. And it might be something that you want, something that you love, something that you desire. Mars is the scalpel, it's the scissors, it's the Stanley knife where we cut things away, where we move things, where we remove stuff. And it's Mars in the sign of Cancer. When I tell you, like, this is going to be what I mean, certainly in the Mars retrograde video that I talked about, one of the things that I mentioned with this was, one of the things that I mentioned with this is like angry, righteous tears, right? This is the kind of tears that come, like, I don't know if anybody else has this, but sometimes if I get really angry or I get really frustrated and I don't know what to do, like it will spill out of me through tears, right? And this is what this Mars in Cancer is going to bring for all of us. It's going to bring those weepy sort of tears where it's like, you know what, I'm so angry right now. I'm so frustrated. Or maybe I'm just so hurt about what has happened or transpired in my past or in my future, you know, is what is happening now or whatever. And so you feel this, right? There's a square to the nodes right now, so it means that whatever is happening at the moment, it is kind of critical because we'll have to take the challenges, but there will also be results from this, right? Now, on Tuesday, Mars's very own day, Mars is going to trine the moon in Pisces, right? So a last little good energy before the eclipse begins. And this is where we're going to see some. I'm just going to quietly sip my tea, okay? Um, I see this though, really, Tuesday, this is today, presents a feeling of determination to do what you can with what you have and maybe fight on somebody else's behalf. So, in terms of the emotional drive, this is about helping others with your actions, right? And it's funny because this actually showed up for me today, and I hope she doesn't mind mentioning, but I say one of my, she's like one of my absolute besties, had a really tough day today. And, you know, I just wasn't having it. I was like, no, not having this. Like, you need to get up, you need to get out, you need to get motivated. And, you know, like, and it was good. It felt really good to be able to do that for somebody else. Why? Because I know there are many people that have done that for me on days where I felt like I couldn't. Now, as we come into Thursday, it will pass through the square to the moon in Aries, right? Which will probably make us all feel like we can be ourselves, right? And that could really almost like frustrate sort of some people to no end. Now, frustration around or with your personal identity this week is a possibility, so navigate that with as much care as you possibly can. Friday, Luna will come into the sign of her exaltation. She comes into the gorgeous, loving sign of Taurus, right? This is where the moon is exalted. She does good work there. Sorry, I'm just moving pages around so that I can see everything and also make sure that you're still looking at me. Me, he says, his Leo ascendant popped out there. Who's still looking at me? I feel like that guy from Harry Potter, you know, Gilderoy Lockhart, only I just don't have that long flowing golden hair. I bet he was a Leo or had Leo placements. Um, thank you so much, Heather. Yes, so I'll be mentioning that very shortly. If you like the way that I do astrology and all of that good stuff, you probably want to check out my personal stuff. Now, That being said, Friday, Luna comes into the sign of her exaltation. She will begin by being sextile to Mars, and I think this is going to be a really beneficial energy to help us see the opportunities that are available in the discomfort that we feel, right? And it will remind us to slow down. Okay. This is really, really important because the discomfort that we feel is the universe's way of saying something needs to be corrected here. And since Luna's still playing, sorry, since Mars is still playing with in the bounds of, playing with the nodes, there is an element of this to say, look, whatever you're experiencing right now might suck, but I promise you there's something else coming. There is a bigger picture to all of this. It's going somewhere else, right? Now, on Saturday and Sunday, Mars then begins to come into the orb of being trine to Saturn, right? So Saturday and Sunday, Mars begins to apply to its trine, its good energy. Let me see, let me share this because otherwise, again, I'm just kind of talking at you and I want you to see this. So I'm going to put the chart back up. Please let me know if you can see the chart once more. So I'm going to set this to days. Since we made a little space. Sorry, I've been listening to this song on repeat. It's called Mixed Emotions by Chase and Status and Clementine. I can't remember what her second name is, but I'm obsessed with it right now. It's such a good song. Right, so you can see the chart once more. So this is today, Tuesday, as we are talking. If I send it forward a little bit, this is like literally what's happening in the sky right now. If you are in London, it will look like a different chart if you're elsewhere in the world. So please ignore the houses in the middle, right? So we can see this. Now watch what happens to Mars, right, as we get into Saturday, right? So on Saturday, you can see there, Mars is at 9 degrees. Saturn down here in Pisces is currently retrograde, right? Which means it's coming closer to Mars. And because Mars is moving forward, they're actually coming closer together. Now, Mars coming into that trine, as of Saturday, coming into that trine with Saturn is a pretty big deal, right? Now, the reason I say this, even with a retrograde Saturn, this is energy that we can use, right? This is energy that we can absolutely use, right? And then it comes to 10 degrees on the 22nd on Sunday, and then on Monday it comes in. That's, you're right, look, and then Saturn by then will be at 14 degrees of Pisces. So it's applying to this. Now, the reason I wanted to show you that is one, to show you what a trine looks like, and two, trine, triangle, right? So they're sending positive, harmonious energy to each other. When Mars and Saturn connect, even with Mars in his fall, even with Saturn retrograde, Mars trine Saturn is a time of incredible emotional and inner fortitude. Excuse me, YouTube gods, please don't spank me, but this is where you can get shit done, right? Tap into that. Personal power and personal discipline will come into harmony. Find a way to use this. Do not waste it. All right. Find a way to tap into that energy. It's going to be a really important thing to use. I love Mars trine Saturn. I mean, I've had, when I say like I've done some of my best work and had some of my best results under starting something with that transit. Now, it is a retrograde Saturn, right? Which means it might be a good time to go back over something. On top of that, we've got Mars in the sign of its fall, right? So it's not a happy Mars, but again, these are both watery, internal, imaginative, emotional signs. So there could be an incredible amount of emotional force, right? That we can tap into, that we can use. Mars is the driving energy. Saturn is the grit and determination that says, yeah, I fucking see you, mountain. Let's go, right? I'm good. I know YouTube is out there like, it's wrong. Sorry. But yeah, Mars Saturn is a really nice energy to tap into. You could use this to go back over something because there's a retrograde in the air. I will say, because Luna is now in her waning phase, by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday, the eclipse is over. It's probably not the best time to initiate something completely brand new. All right, so just keep that as a consideration. But to go over something or to restart something, oh yeah, Saturday and Sunday are good days to do that. Okay, before we get into the card pool, I just want to say for those of you that have signed up for membership, I absolutely love you. There's going to be some incredible stuff coming that is going to be just for you guys. If you haven't seen it yet, you can work with me one to one for the next 3 months, starting in October. We are going in. You're going to finish the year strong. You get your numerology done. I'm going to do your chart. We're going to look at both of those. We're really going to see then what is going on in, like, we're going to look at your specific goals. And on top of that, you will have one-to-one support from me, which means Monday through Friday, you will be able to hit me up on WhatsApp and say, Raf, I'm working on this goal. This has come up. What do you think? I will drop cards for you. I will send you motivational messages. You'll probably get a lot of voice notes. I'm just going to tell you this right now. And I will also make sure that I am on hand to see you through so that you finish this year strong. If you want to work with me one to one for the next 3 months, you can sign up. What I will say to you as well, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be intense. It's going to be really us co-create in the next 3 months of your life. I'm going to drop the link in the chat and it will also be in the description of the video. And one thing that I also wanted to reiterate with this is there are only 10 spaces. The cart closes on September 29th because come October, we go straight in, right? Just after that second eclipse, we're going straight in and it's going to happen. Also, I have to tell you, there are only 5 spaces left. Um, literally, there are only 5 spaces left. I opened the cart on Sunday. 5 are gone already. There are only 5 spaces left. So if you want to get on that, there will be a link in the description. And there is also a link coming to the chat right now. Um, I forgot to mention as well, as part of this, so if you like what I'm doing with the astrology now, giving you strategies and ways to use it, you're getting all of that plus numerology as well. And this is all tailored specifically to you and all of your good stuff. All right. So if you want to sign up, link in the description. Link is also in the chat right now. So back to it. I want you all to take a nice deep breath, shake it off, get settled, get centered, come into the moment. I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you all on your path to your highest vibrational good. Okay, so I'm going to keep shuffling. You guys know how this works now. I want you to tell me when to stop shuffling. I've just read what Rachel's put about me in the F word. Yeah, I can't help it. Sometimes I just get super passionate, like I get so carried away or into what I'm talking about, but I can't help it. All right, Laurel says stop. Okay. So the first card that we are going to look at is the best area of focus, and this is for everybody. This is for the collective, right? We've got the King of Pentacles. So, your best area of focus this week. Now, here's something really interesting about the sign of Cancer that people don't know, right? The sign of Cancer is very much built for security. It loves money, it loves comfort, it loves security. So, this week, Mars in Cancer tells us that the best area for us all to focus is on our security, our finances, and our resources. This is about really focusing on creating a solid financial security for ourselves, whether that looks like a solid plan, whether it looks King of Pentacles, hello, whether it looks like a solid plan, whether it looks like asking for that promotion that you know you can deserve, whether it means that you really start to get your ducks in a row and you maybe even talk to a financial advisor. This is a week to really start looking at building and solidifying your resources, right? Your material experience needs to be tightened up. Tighten up that ship. You hear me? Okay. King of Pentacles is also an earth sign male, Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. This could be somebody that might be able to help you in terms of this as well. All right. So the second card that we're going to look out for is that we're going to look at is the area to watch out for, right? What does Tarot and Mars energy want us to really be aware of this week? And for this, we've got the Queen of Swords, right? So straight away, out of three possible cards from an entire full deck, this is a second court card. What this basically says is this week it's going to be the people stuff, the interpersonal stuff that potentially trips us up. Now, what's even more important about this is the Queen of Swords is two things. One, it's about what we fight for, what we are ready and willing to, what hill are we ready to be unalived on, right? The other thing with the Queen of Swords, this is about being completely fair for all involved, including you, right? Including you. This is the thing. I'm sure you've all heard the saying, and it harm none, do as you will. What a lot of people really don't realize about that saying is that includes you. So if you're doing something that's detrimental to your own health, your own healing, your own advancement, all the rest of it, you're still in breach. Right. So you got to find a way to live in a way that is not just fair for others, but is also doing right by yourself as well. Now, the other thing with the Queen of Swords, this could be an air sign woman, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. This is potentially somebody to watch out for. This can also show up as somebody who has a bee in their bonnet and will push or goad you into sort of losing your proverbial ish. Okay. Don't let that happen this week, right? And then finally, we have the outcome of diligent action. I've given you some things to use. I've given you some ideas. I've given you some insight. What happens if you use this to best effect? And we have, you're not going to believe it, another court card. We have the King of Cups. King of Cups, so one of the greatest energies that the King of Cups is able to do is to bring forward or to utilize his intuitive or psychic faculties in terms of work, business, and even finances, right? That's his special skill. Each one of the court cards has a special skill or a special ability. That's his. Now, the other thing with the King of Cups, this is really about being in total control of your emotional energy. Mars, the ruler, whose feminine domicile is Scorpio, I might add. Uh, is she here? Let me just remind myself, Dr. Sarah and Cindy Carrasquillo. Hello, darling. So you guys are here. Please tell me, what sign does the King of Cups represent? I'm just going to wait for them to type it in the chat. I don't know if you can remember. I say this because they both took my tarot course. Oh, they may not be here any longer. Okay. Nope. Okay. They're obviously not here. So the King of Cups. Ah, so there we go. Cindy said it. Scorpio. The King of Cups literally represents Scorpio. So the outcome of diligent action, utilizing and tapping into your Martian energy over the course of this week, right, leads you to the King of Cups. which means you're going to be able to control your own emotional tides and energy. And more importantly, you'll be able to see it with enough breathing space in order for you to listen to what your intuition is actually saying to you. This could see you come out on top. Now, what I find really interesting about this is out of three cards that I will pull for the collective, each one of them is a court card, right? What this tells me is this week, when it comes to Mars moves, Mars matters, when it comes to everything that we're trying to advance, it's going to be the people, it's going to be the interactions, it's going to be the interpersonal stuff that really can either make or break your success, your moves, the things that you're trying to do. All right. So I'm gonna put these back in the deck. And now what we're going to do, I would like you to tell me when to stop once more, please, everybody. I'm going to shuffle these and we're going to have a look at what the message is for each one of the elemental groups. We're going to start with the fire signs. All right, so when you're ready, guys, just tell me when to stop. Whoa, okay, well, the cards have already spoken. So the card for the fire signs this week is the Eight of Cups. So if you are a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, this week, your great message in terms of how to use the Martian energy, especially under all of the things that we talked about, is knowing what to walk away from and when. This is about being really clear when something has served its purpose. And this isn't to say like, oh, you can't do anything for me anymore, so I'm discarding you. This is about being really honest and saying, you know what, this connection, this insight, this interpersonal thing that's been going on, it doesn't have a space anymore, right? This is about knowing when to walk away, knowing when there is an emotional imbalance that is putting you off kilter, and therefore you have to leave it behind. For the water signs, you have the Two of Pentacles, right? So this week, the Martian energy is asking you to be really serious about your budget, about your resources. If you're a water sign, you're also being reminded that your element is the element of flow, right? And by tapping into the flow, and really understanding what security is to you on a material level, on a practical level, and on an emotional level, you will really be able to step into something wonderful, right? And you'll also be able to get all of your ducks in a row. For the earth signs, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Very interesting. So for the earth signs, this week is really asking you to remember that you are a custodian of some sort. Whatever or whoever has been entrusted to you, whoever has come to you, with or in trust or in faith, it's important that you show up for them. And it also says, especially because it's the King of Pentacles, I'm sorry, it's the Knight of Pentacles. For those of you that are earth signs, your message this week is slow and steady is going to win the race. Being an earth sign, you already understand this better than anybody else. But that slow, steady determination that earth has is really what will carry you through. What does earth do? It holds the water. And what does water and earth do when they're combined? Things grow. All right. And then finally, last but not least, the air signs. Oh my goodness, you have the Fool card, right? So the reason I'm grinning like a bobcat is, as many of you know, I am an Aquarius sun, very proud of that fact. But the reason I'm so kind of like, damn, is because the Fool card is destiny, right? The Fool card is a destiny slash fated kind of energy. It's a grand reset button. It's a fresh start. It's a do-over. It's a change point. And because of what Mars is doing with the nodes, as I was talking about, which are fated energies, this means that this week the air signs are going to experience something that has a real fated feel to it. All right. And the fact that we've got the Fool card, this is usually like the Fool and the Tower have a very sort of heads and tails of the same coin kind of energy. And this is tends to be the more positive sort of showing up of that Tower card energy. Very, very interesting. So I just want to say, take a moment, digest it. Share this with somebody that you think might be able to get some kind of clarity or importance from it. Thank you so much for showing up. As I say, we're going to be doing this Monday through Friday. I'm going to bring you something different every day, so look out for it. I'm going to try and make sure that it's always going live, that we're doing something awesome, that I'm going to give you things that you can actually use, right? And I do want to say as well, like in terms of moving forward, the things that I really want you to know are we're going to be in this energy for a long time moving forward in the days ahead. So really start paying attention to how your personal power and your personal energy levels are at this moment in time, right? How is your energy behaving? What is the state of your emotions? What do you feel ready and able to release or to let go of now that maybe you weren't able to before? Right. And I want to leave you with this. I want to give you something to go away with today. Right. I've given you a ton of stuff, but I want to give you this as well. I want to give you a journal prompt. So you're going to write this down and then whatever flows after it through your pen or on your keyboard, I just want you to let it flow. If I could pour my emotional and personal power into something, it would be dot, dot, dot. Right. So again, that journal prompt, you're going to write this down and then just let whatever flows flow out of you. If I could pour my emotional and personal power into something, it would be dot, dot, dot. All right. Now, thank you so much. Get at me in the comments. Come back day by day or once a week or whatever suits you, however it really speaks to you. Drop me one of those flame emojis in the comments right now if you are loving this new content and if you're feeling that inner energy and your personal water and Cancer energy is up. Drop me a flame emoji right now. Let me know that you are feeling all of this new content, that you're loving it as much as I am. Please don't forget to like, share. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I will say I am currently knee deep in all of the 2025 stuffs that I'm going to be bringing you. So stay tuned for those. There is also going to be a retrograde survival kit coming as well, for those of you that don't know. And I just want to say again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of the Radiant Nation. You know, Rafi loves you. I love having you here. Get out there, go and be who you are destined to be. Take care, and I will see you soon.